Many faiths share a belief in a God who is merciful and just. This is especially true for the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam.
They call on believers to be kind to one another, to forgive transgressions, and to seek justice for the oppressed.
The Hebrew Bible, the Christian New Testament, and the Muslim Quran all contain powerful passages that speak to the importance of peace and understanding.
These sacred texts are filled with stories of prophets and saints who embodied these virtues.
They taught that true strength lies not in violence, but in compassion and understanding.
However, despite this shared emphasis on peace, history is also replete with examples of violence committed in the name of religion.
This paradox lies at the heart of the complex relationship between religion and violence.
It is crucial to recognize that the vast majority of religious adherents are peaceful people who abhor violence. They interpret their scriptures through a lens of love and compassion, rejecting interpretations that promote hatred or violence.
Despite the peaceful tenets of many religions, a minority within these faiths believe that violence is sometimes necessary.
This belief often stems from a sense of being threatened, whether culturally, politically, or religiously. When a group feels its values or very existence is under attack, it can lead to a hardening of attitudes.
The belief in a divine mandate can further fuel this tendency, providing a sense of righteousness.
The vast majority of Christians, Muslims, and members of other faiths condemn such acts, recognizing them as perversions of their faith's true teachings.
Understanding religious violence often hinges on interpreting sacred texts. Scriptures are complex, with passages that can be interpreted in various ways.
Some verses promote peace, while others can be read as condoning violence.
The Old Testament includes accounts of God commanding war.
Similarly, some Quranic verses discuss warfare used by extremists.
These passages often address specific historical contexts and threats. Another factor contributing to religious violence is the concept of martyrdom and its associated rewards.
This belief can be a powerful motivator, especially for individuals who feel alienated, disenfranchised, or hopeless. The promise of eternal reward can make martyrdom seem not only noble but also desirable, outweighing the fear of death.
This is particularly dangerous when combined with a sense of injustice or grievance, as it can create a potent cocktail that drives individuals to extreme acts.
Extremist groups often exploit this dynamic, glorifying martyrdom and promising paradise to those who die in their cause.
This narrative can be particularly appealing to young, impressionable individuals searching for meaning and purpose.
Countering this allure of martyrdom requires addressing the underlying social, economic, and political factors that contribute to feelings of hopelessness and resentment. Providing young people with opportunities for education, employment, and meaningful engagement can help steer them away from extremist ideologies.
Despite the challenges posed by religious extremism, all major religions contain ethical principles that counter violence and promote peace.
These principles challenge extremist ideologies and foster a culture of peace.
Love, compassion, forgiveness, and justice are universal values across different faiths.
These principles emphasize empathy and peaceful resolution.
Religious leaders play a crucial role in emphasizing peaceful teachings and challenging violent interpretations. Violence is not exclusive to religion.
Secular ideologies like nationalism, fascism, and communism have also led to brutality.
These ideologies have resulted in horrific atrocities.
The world wars, driven by secular ideologies, caused millions of deaths.
Violence is a human problem rooted in hatred, greed, and power.
Understanding violence requires moving beyond blaming religion.
One of the most potent drivers of violence, both religious and secular, is intolerance. The unwillingness to accept the beliefs, practices, or existence of others who hold different views.
Intolerance often stems from fear, ignorance, and a sense of superiority, leading to the demonization of the other. This process of dehumanization strips individuals or groups of their humanity, making it easier to justify violence against them.
When people are reduced to stereotypes or caricatures, empathy and compassion erode, paving the way for hatred and aggression.
This creates a climate of fear and suspicion, making violence more likely.
Countering intolerance requires promoting education, understanding, and empathy.
Interfaith dialogue, for example, can help break down stereotypes and foster mutual respect between people of different faiths.
Similarly, education that promotes critical thinking skills can help individuals challenge prejudices and develop a more nuanced understanding of the world.
Creating a culture of tolerance and respect requires actively confronting bigotry and promoting the equal dignity of all human beings.
Closely linked to intolerance is the dangerous tendency towards us versus them thinking, a cognitive bias that divides the world into two opposing camps: us, the righteous, the chosen, and them, the enemy, the other.
When people view the world through this lens, they tend to demonize those outside their group, attributing negative qualities to them while overlooking their own flaws.
Extremist groups often exploit this tendency, using it to rally support and justify their actions.
Countering us versus them thinking requires promoting inclusivity, empathy, and a shared sense of humanity. This involves recognizing the common ground that unites people across religious, cultural, and national boundaries.
Education, intercultural exchange programs, and initiatives that promote dialogue and cooperation can play a vital role in challenging divisive narratives and fostering a more inclusive worldview.
By recognizing the arbitrary nature of group boundaries and celebrating human diversity, people can begin to dismantle the us versus them mentality that fuels so much conflict.
Emphasizing shared values, goals, and aspirations can help break down artificial barriers and foster a sense of interconnectedness. Addressing the complex issue of violence, particularly that committed in the name of religion, requires a multifaceted approach that involves individuals, communities, and institutions working together.
Religious leaders and scholars have a crucial role to play in promoting peaceful interpretations of scriptures and challenging extremist ideologies. They can use their platforms to preach messages of tolerance, compassion, and understanding, emphasizing the shared values that unite people of faith.
Interfaith dialogue and cooperation are also essential, fostering mutual respect and breaking down barriers between religious communities.
Governments and policymakers can contribute by enacting laws that protect religious freedom while also combating hate speech and discrimination.
Investing in education, promoting economic opportunity, and addressing social inequalities can also help create a more just and peaceful society, reducing the appeal of extremist ideologies.
Ultimately, fostering peace begins at the individual level. Each person has a responsibility to challenge their own prejudices, educate themselves about different cultures and religions, and engage in respectful dialogue with those who hold different views. The path to a future free from violence, especially that perpetrated in the name of religion, is long and challenging.
The first step is education. People need to be equipped with the knowledge and critical thinking skills to challenge extremist ideologies, understand the nuances of religious texts, and recognize the dangers of intolerance and prejudice.
Interfaith dialogue and cross-cultural exchange programs can also play a vital role in breaking down stereotypes and fostering mutual understanding.
Furthermore, it is crucial to address the underlying social, economic, and political inequalities that often contribute to violence.
Ultimately, building a culture of peace requires a fundamental shift in perspective, a recognition that we are all part of one human family, interconnected and interdependent.
By embracing our shared humanity, celebrating our diversity, and working together to address our common challenges, people can create a future where violence is no longer an acceptable solution to conflict.
The journey may be long, But the pursuit of peace is a worthy and necessary endeavor